This story is absolutely brutal. Walgreens is shutting down over 2,000 U.S. stores due to inflation. And this is not going to help inflation. Of course, it's going to make everything worse. But I'm willing to bet it's not just inflation. I'm willing to bet many of these stores are suffering from mass shoplifting crises that they can't accommodate, they can't deal with. And you get these liberal personalities desperate to defend Biden, but at a certain point, no one believes they actually think this stuff. In what world are you going to the grocery store and buying eggs and milk and bread and being like, everything's fine? I tell you this story, my friends. I tell you this story. A couple of years ago, we used to buy these salami packs from the local Vice supermarket. Everyone calls it Weiss, but I'm pretty sure it's Vice, whatever. And they have these really amazing salami packs. And they were like $7. And then I think like a year later, I think it was last year, because we buy like 10 of them and we put them in the fridge so people can eat and snack. Among other things, we get Pringles, and I try not to eat the garbage, but $12 a pack. We were ringing them up and I was just like, whoa, why is this $200? And it's like, these are $12 each. And I was like, they're almost double in price. Yep. Man, I remember going to this local barbecue stand, like a food truck. And they had a sign saying they're no longer carrying brisket because the cost of beef had gone up so high. They didn't think anyone would want to buy brisket from them because it would cost too much. They were like, the amount we'd have to sell it for, probably no one would want to spend the money on. So we don't want to make the investment because we would lose our money. Now we're dealing with this. The post-millennial. Walgreens will be closing over 2,000 stores in the U.S. after it has been hit by inflation and customers cutting down on spending habits. The pharmacy and convenience store chain is looking to turn around its business. Walgreens CEO Tim Wentworth said during a Thursday earnings call, the current pharmacy model is not sustainable. Only around 75% of the company's stores account for 100% of the company's adjusted operating income. In turn, a quarter of its 8,600 stores will be facing closures over the next few years or so. It would result in about 2,150 stores closing their doors per CBS News. Changes are imminent, Wentworth said, of the oncoming closures. However, there's not one exact number. The CEO added that Walgreens will be shutting down stores that are underperforming, but that some locations could be shifted up in their profits as well. With high prices and inflation, consumers have been increasingly selective and price sensitive on their selections. About a month ago, Walgreens cut the prices on 1,300 products to keep up with price drops as the economy showed signs of slowing down along with other retailers. The company does not expect to have mass layoffs and believes the employees of those locations shutting down can go to others. You don't need to have the number of stores we have today. He added the company's footprint will remain the same, but with fewer locations in place. I will stress, down the street from us, there's a Walgreens and a CVS across the street from each other. And at a certain point, it's like, I don't know that you can sustain that. Because anything I can get at Walgreens, I can get at CVS. I don't know what the point of having them. They're literally right next to each other. So, whatever. Since Biden took office, price of goods on the Consumer Price Index are up around 20%. The White House, which coined the term Bidenomics, has used the term less and less in recent months, according to USA Today. And the economy has been one of the top issues for most Americans ahead of the election in November. Take a look at this. This image right here explains it all. Changes in household net worth since the start of the presidency. Nominal value. Under Trump, household net worth was skyrocketing. That's amazing. Wow. The best years of our lives, people said. The best numbers of our lives. Adjusted for inflation, under Joe Biden, your household net worth has collapsed. And it puts tremendous stress on everything. On everything. We're feeling it. We're feeling it. Man, under Trump, this is really crazy. Under Donald Trump, it was a windfall for the Timcast media group. We were hiring. We were expanding. We were doing really, really well. At the beginning of Biden's term, we also were doing pretty well, actually. Yeah, we were. And you can see it right there. Hey, no disrespect and no lie. The beginning of Biden's term, that increase was there. And inflation's been hitting. And now, in more recent months, we're stable, staying afloat. You'll notice more sponsorship deals. We're trying to pick up the slack and adjust. We're making ends meet. I wonder if that's how many of you feel with this blue line right here, just slightly above zero. You're making ends meet. There's that brief period where y'all were hurting. Now you're making ends meet. Take a look at this. They try to attack Donald Trump. Here's the Dow Jones. The pandemic hit, the Dow Jones tanks. Hold on there a minute. It tanks just around where it was right before Trump got inaugurated, and then it rapidly recovered. If you invested in the Dow Jones, in various stocks associated with the Dow Jones or ETFs or whatever, not advice, I'm not telling you what to do, I'm just saying. If you had bought at the bottom, holy crap, you're talking about a 70% increase under Donald Trump. A lot of people got rich. That's just an aside. I'm not saying it's good or bad. This is from May 17th, Trump v. Biden, how the Dow's performance compares. I don't rightly care about the Dow, to be completely honest. I'm concerned about how people are buying food. Let me tell you something, my friends. Let me tell you something. I get these people, and they say things in the chat, and they say in the comments, oh, Tim doesn't understand what's really going on, and he's isolated from all of this. I can actually see it better than a lot of people can. Because what we're dealing with is the bulk of ad revenue that we make on YouTube, and anywhere, anywhere actually, small businesses. That's right. Small diner advertising their budget on YouTube. Let's say you live in Dubuque, Iowa. How about that? We love Dubuque. And you got a small restaurant. So you say, we're going to put $500 into ads on YouTube to advertise to the people who live here at this restaurant. It works. It really, really does. It's amazing. You'll notice people start coming in more. Well, as prices go up, stores start closing. That diner says, look, we do not have the money for the marketing. We're going to have to figure something else out because we are struggling to stay afloat in this storm. We got to weather the storm and we got to cut spending. All of a sudden, ad rates collapse. When I see in my ad rates, because you got to understand this is diversified sponsorship. It used to be, or so I'll give you this. We do a shout out for like My Pillow on Timcast IRL. We're going to be working with Mike Lindell in the future. We're big fans of My Pillow. And they say straight up to us, like, hey, can we do something? I say, for sure. And so they're a part of our event at the RNC, and that's the sponsorship, basically. Mike Lindell will be speaking. He'll be joining us on the show for our live show. It'll be a lot of fun. Mike Lindell's fantastic. And that's like a direct sponsorship, right? That's how it used to be. You had a big network. Companies would come to you. Ad buyers would be like, hey, I got a list of companies. They want to sponsor this program. And a lot of these programs were directly sponsored by one principal sponsor. Today, it's decentralized. All of these small businesses are contributing a couple $100 here and there because when you watch in Iowa, when you watch in Omaha, you get ads for Omaha. You get ads for Iowa. Now, of course, you may get ads for Coca-Cola because Coke wants to run the ads everywhere. But a lot of these small businesses, probably the bulk of the ad spending comes from small businesses in local areas. When I see 20% drop off in ad rates, that's nationwide. That means the small businesses are suffering tremendously to have to cut prices like that. And then they post these things. These liberal pundits are like, the economy's actually doing way better under Joe Biden. The Republicans are lying. Walgreens is shutting down 2,000 stores. We are in a recession. Okay, maybe not literally, but I'll put it this way. It's painfully obvious that businesses are receding. We are not seeing stories of mass expansion. We're seeing stories of stores closing down over and over again, citing crime and citing inflation. So maybe it's not a literal recession because the argument is, no, recession is when the growth is at a certain percentage below. And it's like, dude, you ask the average American, do you feel like we're in a recession or not? They're probably going to say it's worse than that. Under Joe Biden, household wealth is on the decline due to inflation. Here's what they'll do. Understand the games they play. Let's say you made $10 this year. Let's say next year you make $20. Wow, the economy grew. You made double what you made. And everything costs double as well. So nothing changed. There's no growth. It's stagnation. The problem we're facing now is stagflation. Prices are going up, but people aren't earning more. It's only going to get worse. I have no guarantees, and I have little hope, honestly, that Donald Trump turns this around. I mean it. I do believe, however, regardless of what you think about Trump, it is clear He's the only option. Unless you want $5 gas. Oh, don't get me wrong. They'll say, no, prices are going down. Joe Biden's blaming companies. You know, these companies are price gouging. Because they have to. Because it's his fault. I can break down for you every way. I mean, shutting down Keystone spiked gas prices. The Saudis dumped the petrodollar deal. Where are you, Biden? You're the foreign policy guy. You're the president. This is your department. The petrodollar deal getting dumped? Whew, it's going to get wild. The economy is going to get worse. And that's why I say I have little hope. I don't know that Donald Trump can turn that around, but who else are you going to pick? This is the metric for the election. Democrats don't seem to have a single hand on the wheel. And so be it. It's not so much that I want Trump to win, but that we have no choice. We need him to win. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.